Thanks very much, Mr. Chair. Good to see everybody again. We'll start with a couple of general questions, then we'll get to some specifics. How many, does anyone know how many full-time equivalents are going to be added based on the measures in these parts? I don't think there's anyone here from Economic and Fiscal Branch, is there?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Or just from the tax policy branch. So I don't think we have those numbers handy. We could.
That's fine.
We can check for you.
Since you are here, on the home buyers plan, I was curious. This was very helpful, by the way, the questions and answers. Thank you to whoever put that together. Very, very helpful. 13,000 households are expected to benefit from the proposed increase over the next 5 years. I'm curious, so this is part 1M. What do we know about the 13,000 households? Can you give me an idea, either in 30 seconds or in writing follow-up after, who are these 13,000 households? Kind of like their average income, how many assets they have in their RSP account?
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to thank the member for his question. It's tough to describe exactly what this group will look like because we have a sense now of who, let's say, in 2021 or 2022 has taken the maximum amount out of the home buyers plan, the current limit of 35,000. But that we can expect that group to change pretty significantly over the next couple of years, and that's because of the introduction of the tax-free first home savings account. In other words, as you know, given that the account started last year and so far has been quite a popular measure for prospective first-time home buyers, that basically the number of people who would otherwise be constrained by the $35,000 limit will go down. And exactly what that group looks like when so 13,000 is our best estimate. Sort of exactly how the composition of that group changes once you bring in the first home savings account is a complicating factor. So we can see what we can provide, but I just provide that note of caution.
Thank you very much. That would be very helpful. I'm very interested in the expectations on the average median income of these individuals, and also we want to make sure who's getting these tax preferences, I think, because I'm sure my NDP colleague is always interested to see who is benefiting from changes to the tax code. I think there's some officials from CRA here. I'm very interested in the measure with respect to a grace period for childcare benefits 6 months after an unfortunate death of a child. There's a fairly specific number for the costing of this measure of $15 million. I'm curious how that number was arrived at. Is finance relying on CRA data in order to provide a costing estimate of $15 million?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the member for the question. I will actually maybe turn to finance colleagues to provide some clarity on where the 15 million itself has come from. So maybe I will cede right back over to Pierre.
Specifically, I just want to know whether you received data from CRA in order to come up with the $15 million estimate.
The answer. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank the member for his question. The answer is yes. I mean, we receive as part of our ongoing responsibility for advising on policy on the Canada Child Benefit, detailed administrative data on who receives the Canada Child Benefit. And one of the pieces of information we receive as part of that are eligible children who have died during the year. So, and that's where you get the number of about 1,500 children per year. And, basically using, an average Canada Child Benefit amount. That's how we arrive at the 15 million over
Thank-
the 5-year period.
Thank you very much for that. The carbon rebate for businesses, how many people are going to be hired in CRA to carry out this work? I think I'll have a little bit of.
I'll build in time for the transitions
Appreciate
that
that,
are
Mr.
happening for
Chair.
sure. Yeah.
Thanks for your indulgence.
Hey, hopefully you can hear me. So the funding required for the implementation and administration of Canada Carbon Rebate will be part of a Treasury Board proposal that we'll be making in the coming month. Following the approval of the TB submission, current year funding will be sought through the upcoming supplementary estimate BNC. So it's still too early, Mr. Chair, to estimate exactly how many FDs or how many resources will require to administer Canada Carbon Rebate.
Okay, I mean, it's 180 million is a fairly significant number one time. This is the 6th budget bill in this parliament. And every time we get a budget bill, the question is always asked, well, how many people are we going to hire? When we do the projections, we have operating costs and program costs. And I've provided the clerk with a notice of motion. I don't intend to move it now because I'm in the spirit of collaboration, and it's not fair to my NDP colleague. But the Deputy Minister of Finance and the Treasury Board Deputy Minister needs to show up to this committee to talk about the people plan, because 25% of the government's savings targets are based on shrinking the public service. Yet every single year, the departmental spending plans come out, it shows, oh, we didn't shrink it, we grew it. It's unclear to me who's actually looking at the people plan in government. So that's a motion that's put on notice, Mr. Chair, and I'll yield the floor back, but I look forward to collaborating with my colleagues on that.
Thank you, MP Chambers, and I do understand from the clerk that members should have received it in your inboxes, so you look for that.